see myself? No.
All right, you guys are good to go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Marsha Cohen, and I'm a lifelong New Yorker, and I've been volunteering at DOROT in various capacities for the last 3 years or so. And I'm here virtually with Jennifer Herkman, who's another volunteer. And I thought I would just have Jen introduce herself and tell us how she first got involved with DOROT and what she was doing for them with her first involvement. Jen?
Hi, Marsha.
Take it away.
Here. So my name is Jen. I'm actually coming to you from my office on 36th Street of Adaptive Design Association. I am a native New Yorker, but have been quite a bit around the world over the past 10 years. When I was in college at NYU, I started my DOROT volunteer experience as the college volunteer coordinator. A friend of mine the year before had served in that position and started the Adopt a Bubby program as a way of connecting New York college students with the local community. So that was the very start of my DOROT exposure.
Yeah, it's, I just got involved with DOROT in the last 3 years. I must admit I'd never even heard of the organization before. And I learned about it through the JCC on the Upper West Side. They have this group called Engage. And to me, Engage is like a clearinghouse of volunteer activities for people 60 and older who want to, maybe they've retired already, they want to give back a little bit, they've got lots of free time. And they just put up a list every week of different organizations that need volunteer help. And the first one I ever volunteered for was DOROT in their HPP, their homelessness prevention program, to cook a meal. That was my first exposure to DOROT. It was just a little more than 3 years ago. Went to the homelessness prevention program's home base on West 87th Street. Met all kinds of other nice people, and we cooked a 4-course meal for a whole bunch of people. And that got me involved. And when I was there, I met the person who ran the volunteers, who was in charge of us volunteers. And I just said, if there's anything else I can do, let me know. And she did. So let me ask you, before I tell about my experiences, did that first volunteer effort from the food delivery lead to other things, other volunteering work?
Yeah, so for the first year I was involved, it was very much the food package deliveries. And I always told people as I was trying to engage them in the organization, like DOROT really paves the way. They take care of every component. It's so well organized. They treat their volunteers with so much respect that it's really just about you committing to that first step. And once you enjoy or experience that, there are ways to level up your commitment, which is like what I like to call it. And about, I would say like 8 months to a year in of running that program for NYU, I went on a Rosh Hashanah package delivery and I really connected with the woman that I delivered to. And we happened to have been reading the same book. And I said to her, like, oh, how are you enjoying it? And she was like, well, to be perfectly honest, my vision's going and it's becoming quite annoying to read, even though I get so much joy out of it. And it was in that moment where I decided to be a weekly visitor with her through the Friendly Visiting program. And that weekly commitment with all of the distractions and exciting things that, happen in college really allowed me to have a different kind of perspective about who is in our city and really to think about the elderly and aging in place and what that really means to be able to, as things in your life are starting to slip away, to be able to maintain something that is so like stabilizing, like a home. So that was like a really transformative experience for me.
Incredible. After I had offered myself, I said, look, my background is in marketing research. So if there's any kind of volunteer work I can do where you might be able to use some of my skills, let me know. And then I thought, I'll probably never hear from these people again, which is what usually happens. They called me and said, if you were serious, come on down. We have the perfect slot for you. So I wound up in what they call the Program Impact and Evaluation Department. And this is the department at DOROT that literally assesses how all of their programs are working, how happy and satisfied all of the people they reach out to are with the package deliveries, with the weekly food, with the friendly visitor, all of the different things they do with the student volunteers. And I got myself a regular gig. Literally every Friday I would come in for several hours and make phone calls and interview these people about how they're doing and how DOROT's programs have helped them in their lives and how much it was adding to their lives. So this was like really important because we know that one of the main things about DOROT is to prevent social isolation, which is the killer for a lot of old people. And having a friendly visitor every week, what that meant to people was so important. So I'm sure had I gotten an opportunity to speak to your person, but that was years ago, you know, I would have heard how wonderful you were. And then doing this on a regular basis led me to all of these other things. Every week I would get a call from somebody else at DOROT. How would you like to be an ambassador? We're having a whole bunch of new programs where people can come in and they can listen to music, there's film, there's art classes, all kinds of activities. And it would be really nice if a friendly face was there to greet them, if they needed help getting to their seat, if they had any questions about other DOROT programs. So I started to do that. Then every single year during the summer, there is the cemetery visits happen, where people, it is so hard when you live in New York City to get out to visit your deceased relatives and friends who are at these cemeteries out on Long Island, in New Jersey, in Connecticut. So DOROT organizes these amazing journeys where one volunteer accompanies maybe 3 people. And we go to a cemetery, we bring snacks, we bring water, we even bring the little rocks that you put on top of the gravestones. And we spend the day with them and we visit, and everybody's very respectful. You wait in the car while one person is visiting. Thing has been, and it's an incredible to see how much it means to people to get out there and be able to see their relatives. I've also been working on the package deliveries. I'm in the office, kind of assisting groups like yours, the college students, the high school students, the different synagogues that come in with a whole gang of people. I help with the logistics, make sure everybody gets their donut and orange juice before they head out, and that they know where they're going and that all the paperwork is official and filled out. So those are some of the different things I've been doing. This year, I actually participated in the luncheon that they do just before Thanksgiving, the Sunday before Thanksgiving. It's a very, very big deal. Many hundreds of people attend. Everybody gets all dressed up. And I was a waitress. I had a table. I served a Thanksgiving dinner to everybody. It was great fun. And then I wound up actually making a presentation. I was one of the presenters. I do tours of Grand Central Terminal. And I felt that a lot of our people couldn't really do a tour of Grand Central. Too many steps, too much walking. So just before the pandemic hit, in the middle of the winter, I did a lecture on Grand Central Terminal with slides. We had a sellout crowd, and it was just so much fun. And the last way that I've gotten involved with DOROT, I thought, okay, I'm a volunteer, that's it. I saw that they were offering a program in memoir writing, and I signed up for it. It's a class, and we meet every week. Now, of course, we meet virtually. And that was about 2 years ago, and that has been extraordinary experience for me. So I've really gotten kind of, in these 3 years, just hooked on DOROT. Okay. So that's what happened with me with DOROT and how I got so involved. So what happened to you after that initial experience of the package delivery and then becoming a friendly visitor? What
Yeah.
was your next activity?
Yeah, definitely. So after graduating NYU, my postgraduate experiences took me out of the city, but I always continued to follow DOROT a lot because of everything that you're saying. The experiences are so real and so vast that they're providing. And I always felt like if there's an organization I want to be a donor to, like this is it, because I knew the integrity of the programs. And even, that you talk about the assessment, that's not even something I would have known DOROT is doing, but I'm not surprised one bit that that is like a huge part of making sure that they're being effective. So my husband and I became donors. And then as we transitioned back to the city a couple of years ago, we were thinking like, how is it that we can re-engage with the organization in a way that is beyond donating? And when I started working at Adaptive Design Association, which is a nonprofit design workshop where we make custom equipment for kids with disabilities. And we make things that have like impact on social experiences, academic experiences, really creating things that change the way a kid experiences their disability. And I couldn't stop thinking, we focus on kids, but we don't say no to anyone here. So we have older adults that come and request things as they receive a new diagnosis or develop new symptoms that are happening to them because of their age. And it always like just stuck in the back of my mind, like how can we connect with DOROT, who has the trust of so many of the people they serve because of the quality of services that they provide. And when COVID hit in March, we shifted our activities very quickly to making sure that we were sewing cloth masks and producing shields with the equipment and the fabrication tools we have here to make sure our community is covered right away in order to help slow the spread. And I saw, DOROT also became super active virtually very quickly, as like the aging population was an especially vulnerable population at this time. And I reached out to the homelessness prevention program and said, could you use shields? We are another local nonprofit. We know all nonprofits are struggling. We'd like to be able to help in this way. So I connected with the people over at that program, and they were delighted and really view this as like a stepping stone to how Adaptive Design Association and DOROT could work together in the future to really serve both of our populations. So yeah, that's kind of like all that, where we're at right now. But in my current role at Adaptive Design, I'm really excited about the possibility. I'm excited to connect with other volunteers who are doing meaningful work, learn about how other nonprofits are surviving this crazy time. And, I don't know, Marsha, what do you think? What do you think is the most special thing about DOROT?
Well, personally, as a volunteer, I appreciate how appreciated I am, because other people tell me they try to volunteer and they come back from their day of volunteering and they're so disappointed. Oh, I didn't get to do anything meaningful. I just sat around twiddling my thumbs. Nobody knew what to do with me. I never feel like that when I volunteer at DOROT. I always feel like I'm given direction. I'm given something to do. I get to do it. People thank me for it. They think of things for me to do that sync up with my interests and abilities and expertise. So it's like you have a job, you don't get paid, but you don't get paid in money, but you get paid in like that wonderful thing that happens when you give back and you just say, I helped somebody today. It's just like an amazing feeling. And I think when the pandemic first hit, I've talked to other volunteers and they're all really missing. If they're used to doing a friendly visitor thing, they're like, I miss going on that visit. I miss having that connection. One woman said to me, I miss just walking into DOROT and having the woman at the front desk say hello to me by my name. I feel like they're my family and I have lost that connection. So I think it's, in addition to all the wonderful things they're doing for other people, I'm just thinking about what they do for us as volunteers.
I agree. And I think that sense of community, the small nonprofit, you know, the Gretchen at the homelessness prevention program said to me something that really stuck with me, which was that our program is small but effective. And I think it really resonated with how I feel about Adaptive Design Association as well, because in times of crisis, it's not the big institutions that we're relying on. It's our community-centered organizations that pull the community up, that inspire the community to keep connecting, to keep doing. And so, well, I'm excited that we got to connect through this experience. And I look forward to learning more what programs DOROT is providing virtually, and also, how Adaptive Design and DOROT continue to engage volunteers in this time and keep people really deeply connected.